What's up, everybody? My name is Dell. This is Dell on Movies. Thanks for hanging out with me. And if you've been here before, thanks for hanging out with me once again. So this is challenge week. Earlier in the week, if you watched my other video, I did a challenge from Huck at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe, where I had to pick a movie for every letter of the alphabet, just one that I could take with me on a deserted island. You can definitely check out that video. This time, the challenge was issued by Troy of the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide. He's got a great channel. Go ahead and give him a sub and check him out if you're at all interested in superhero movies. He's got a phenomenal channel, phenomenal collection. Definitely check out his collection video if you want to see somebody who's got, I swear, it seems like everything. I thought I had a lot, and I've got, you know, if you put a number on it, it's well over 200 superhero movies, live action and animated, some TV stuff. But he makes that number look pretty tiny. So definitely go ahead and check him out. I'll have his link in the description. And the challenge was that he got from another YouTuber, Roberto, was to pick 5 top Marvel movies and then 5 flop Marvel movies. So basically your favorite 5 and your least favorite 5, and then do the same for DC. I'm not going to put them in any particular order, but I definitely wanted to do this challenge. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And I'm going to start with Marvel. Again, this is in no particular order. I didn't rank them. I know Troy did his, and more power to you, Troy. But I'm saving that because I might do a ranking for MCU and Marvel and all that stuff later on. But let's go ahead and get into, again, what I did do, again, in no particular order. And I'm going to just start with Infinity War. For me, and I will spoil that, this is my favorite MCU movie of all time. But yeah, no doubts about it, and just hands down. So I had to go with that one first. Next for me is a movie that it's basically a laugh a minute for me. I love this movie. It's not part of the MCU, but it's definitely Marvel, and that is Deadpool. I had to go ahead and get my man Deadpool in here. I could have went with Deadpool 2 because I like that movie almost as much, but I decided to go with the original, mainly on the strength of the opening credits. Some of the best opening credits in movie history, if you ask me. Next movie on the list, on the top side of Marvel, these are the good ones, is out of this set right here, and it is Spider-Man 2, the one with Dr. Octopus as the villain. That is far and away the best of the Sam Raimi trilogy, in as far as I'm concerned. The first one was great, the third one not so much, but number 2 is phenomenal. And we're gonna stick with Spider-Man for my next choice, and that is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So this is the only animated movie up here, because we're sticking here with the big budget or the theatrically released movies, so none of the made-for-TV stuff. And this was definitely theatrically released, and it is my favorite Spider-Man movie. I did a Spider-Man ranking. If you want to see my full list, I'll keep a link to that one in the description also. Finally, for the top Marvel movies, I'm going with a movie from this trilogy, and that is actually Blade 2, not Blade 1. Blade 1 is great, but Blade 2 has always been my favorite. It's basically vampires on steroids is about the best way to describe them. The Reapers, and they're just they're pretty heinous creatures. So, and that is my favorite Blade movie. So that would take us over to the Marvel flop side. These are 5 movies from Marvel that just for me, the worst of the bunch. And again, in no particular order, but I'm going to stick with the Blade trilogy, and I'm going to talk about Blade Trinity. This is the one with Ryan Reynolds, Jessica Biel. Wesley Snipes is a secondary character in a Blade movie, which is crazy. But then again, you know, the stories surrounding his behavior on the set are just amazing. The CGI eyes on that one scene, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, Blade Trinity is it's just awful. So that would be one of those bottom ones. The next one is a movie you guys all ran out and bought the 4K steelbook of. I decided against that, especially since I got this Blu-ray a couple years ago for like $3, and that's Howard the Duck. I only picked it up because, you know, I'm a completist for superhero stuff. And shout out to Bob at Bob's Blu-rays for, I was on his channel a little while ago and we figured out together that it's completist, not completionist. But Howard the Duck is just it's a weird movie, which doesn't always throw me off. I don't mind weird movies, but this was a bad weird movie, and the duck boobs, and it's crazy. But Howard the Duck gets on there. Another bad weird movie, even though it's not as weird as Howard the Duck, is the second of the Ghost Rider movies, Spirit of Vengeance. This is Nick Cage turned up to 11, which is fine, but the story around him just does not hold up whatsoever. Idris Elba's in the movie, but yeah, the movie's just, it just doesn't hold up. So that one would be another one of those on the downside for me. And way on the downside would be these last two movies, especially this one, and that is FanForce or Fantastic Four. I don't know how they actually want you to pronounce it. I've always said FanForce because it's just funny to say it that way. It's basically a movie with a beginning, and it's all set up except that, and then then a really seemingly a short climax. There seems to be no middle to the movie. Let me put it that way. There's no middle to the movie that makes it a cohesive whole. It's just we get a bunch of setup and then jump ahead to the end, and the end, it doesn't work, and the chemistry between the characters doesn't work because the writing is terrible. It's a pretty awful experience. Again, I found this for I found this actually for $1, so that's one of the reasons why I have it, and I do have all the other Fantastic Four movies. So FanForce gets on this list. And then finally, for the Marvel side of this, is Elektra. This was the spin-off from Daredevil. Daredevil, the theatrical cut was not that good a movie. It was okay. I didn't like it I didn't hate it as much as other people did, but I recognize that it's not one of Marvel's best. The director's cut, if you ever get a chance to see the director's cut, much better movie, longer movie, but it's a much better movie. It holds together much better. But the spin-off Elektra, there's just almost no hope for this. I saw it mainly because I do like Jennifer Garner, and at the time it came out, she was kind of hot off of Alias, the TV show, which I really liked. She can pull off the action very well. She's a good actress, good at action. It's just a bad movie, so hopefully they'll get it right. Maybe one day we'll get a good Elektra movie, or at least get her in the MCU and get something good out of that. So that's all for the Marvel side. I'm going to switch over to DC now, and so again, just like with Marvel, I'm going to start at the top, and I'm not going to put them in any particular order because, like I said, I may go ahead and I plan on at some point go ahead and doing a ranking video with both Marvel and DC. So I don't want to give too much away early, and besides, I'm still thinking about it. I'm not sure. But on the top side, I'm just going in the order that they're sitting in a pile, and that is Wonder Woman, one of the best movies in the DC EU. Great movie here. The third act gets a little wonky, but still pretty easily the best female superhero movie that we've gotten. So hopefully somebody can raise that bar and give us another good one. Next, this one did raise the bar from the movies before in its own franchise, or actually the movie that is practically named after. And we got Suicide Squad, was kind of a bomb. Again, I didn't hate it as much as other people, but I know it wasn't that great a movie. But The Suicide Squad was much better. It embraced the stupidity and just rolled with it, and it had some great humor in it, some crazy violence. So definitely check out The Suicide Squad if you have not. Next is a movie that every fanboy was clamoring for all over the internet for, it seemed like forever, until they actually made the movie, and they made it and people still went crazy over it, even though it's 4 hours long, and that is Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it is a really good movie. It probably could have been 3 hours instead of 4, but I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. A lot better than what's now called the Justice League, or the Joss Whedon version that hit theaters a few years back, I think back in 2017. Next is The Dark Knight. I had to get a Batman movie in here, and there's no better Batman movie than The Dark Knight. Again, I'm probably spoiling another list, but The Dark Knight movie is hands down for me the best Batman movie. So had to get that one in my DC top. And now for the last one of the tops, I had to take it all the way back to the beginning, and that one is Superman the movie. This is a whole set. It's got all sorts of Superman stuff in here. As you can see, it's let me see if I can get it actually to show up there. Yeah, you can see it at the bottom. 1978 to 2006, which is basically from Superman the movie, which is the movie I'm picking, all the way to Superman Returns. And it's got lots of stuff from the TV shows, and got the Max Fleischer animation in here. So it's a great set. The Superman the movies, I went and saw that in the theaters as a little boy and was in love with the movie ever since. So that's my pick for the top DC movies. Going to the other side of it, the flops, the bottom movies, unfortunately I gotta stay in this box set, and that's gonna be Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. Nuclear Man and Gene Hackman, a story that's just insane. Budget that was slashed for any number of reasons, depending on who you ask. But Superman 4, The Quest for Peace is just pure bottom of the barrel. Even worse than a movie that I did not include here, and that one is Supergirl, which I do have back here. There's Supergirl right here. So Supergirl's a bad movie, but I have a little more fun with that one. So I didn't pick that one. I didn't have quite as much fun with Wonder Woman 1984. So it's kind of insane to me to go from Wonder Woman being one of the best DCEU movies to the sequel being one of the worst. It was just kind of nonsensical, didn't make a whole, not much about it worked, and it would just drag on and on and on, and the CGI was terrible, and I just did not enjoy Wonder Woman 1984. Another one I didn't enjoy, The Green Lantern. So this movie, it could have been a lot better. One of the problems, guys, is with the ring, translating into the screen is a hard proposition, because one, you got to get the graphics for it right, where it doesn't look too silly. And on top of that, it's a ring where he can literally create anything. So why not immediately create the thing that solves all the problems? But you know, he's got to do things to make the movie move along. And then part of that is that the whole thing just didn't work. The CGI suit, the story didn't quite work the way it should have. So Green Lantern definitely earns a spot at the bottom, or among the flops. Next is one that's even worse, and that is Jonah Hex. And this one is just it's a mess of a movie. It's just a whole mess. Not much good to say about Jonah Hex. No, I found it for $1, guys. So again, being a completist, you get a lot of these movies, especially you get a lot of these movies you don't really like. And for superhero movies, that's where I am a completist. So I came across it for $1, and it's like, I wasn't gonna buy it brand new, but hey, for $1, no problem. And then I have one more that movie I actually don't have. So yeah, if I come across this one for $1, I'll pick this one up too. But that one is Steel, starring Shaquille O'Neal. If you've ever seen it, it teeters on the edge of that so bad it's awesome. So I almost didn't include it here, because it is, I mean, you can laugh at it from beginning to end, because it's just nuts. But still gets my last spot. So any superhero fans out there, you are more than welcome to do the same. Give me 5 great movies, 5 terrible movies, both from Marvel and from DC. If you want to rank them. I decided not to. Again, go follow Troy over at the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide if you're at all interested in superhero content. Also, give me a like and a comment and subscribe and do all those things, and we can definitely talk superhero movies. That's all I have for you on this one. I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Bye.